Hey Libra, welcome to your January 2022 love and romance reading. Can you believe it? Wow, the time is flying by. We're going to connect here and see what's coming up for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I know a lot of people like to check out their Venus sign when it comes to love. So whenever I do a love reading, I like to include the Venus folk as well. You might stumble upon this reading outside of the time frame that I mentioned. Don't you worry, your pretty little head. You found it whenever you were meant to. So take the messages that resonate, leave the ones that don't, and keep in mind that these are for the general collective. All right, one more shuffle here, and we're going to get right on into it. For Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. First card coming up, my darlings, is the Emperor. So, this is a major arcana card. Those of you that watch my readings, you probably have already heard me explain in the past how I interpret the major arcana cards when they come up in a reading, and especially when they come up in a love reading. First and foremost, major arcana cards are pretty big chapters in our life. It's like when a major arcana card is coming up, we're coming into a new chapter, or we're experiencing something we came here to experience. We came here to master it, to conquer it, to accomplish it. So it's a big energy, and it's moments and transitions in our life that we're gonna remember. That it's shaping times. When I have major arcana cards come up in a love reading between two people, especially when it's the first card right out of the gate, it tells me that there's a very strong past life connection here, and that you guys have known each other through many past lives, and that you have a contract. You have an agreement. You made an agreement to meet in this lifetime for a specific reason. And then by looking at the major arcana card, it gives me an idea of what that reason is. The Emperor is going to be about structure, foundation. It can also be a relationship sometimes that might be kind of triggering your authority figure dynamic, right? This could be somebody that might be coming in, and it might be kind of triggering in you any issues you might have with authority, or things that you have had issues with authority figures in the past. This could be somebody that you feel like they might be coming in and like exerting their authority. I know the Emperor can also be the divine masculine. So for some of you, there could be an issue of divine masculine and authority in terms of like this is an energy that it's going to take time for you to process, or to really truly feel ready for. Another dynamic of the Emperor card can be messages coming in from a father or father figure who has passed on, or ancestors from the father's side of the family that might be coming in to try to bring messages or help you or guide you through a situation. And I feel like there are some of you that have been delaying marriage because you might be having this epiphany or this realization that you fear divorce. This is a very specific message. It's not going to be for every single one of you. And maybe this is like something that has run through the family, or this is something that you have seen family members who maybe they haven't gotten divorced for religious or cultural reasons, but you've just seen many unhappy relationships where two people just absolutely despise one another, but they're staying together because of tradition or culture or religion. And so some of you maybe have been like afraid that I don't want to end up that way. And you might be seeing a pattern or a cycle in your family. You may have ancestors from your father's side of the family coming in to help with this, to kind of help release your fear and to help guide you towards the right partner. There could be some spiritual, on the other side, matchmaking going on for some of you. Okay, those of you in an existing relationship, the Emperor can mean that you're coming into a time of structure and order, like figuring out the stability of the relationship, figuring out the rules of the relationship, and figuring out boundaries even. Not that the Emperor is a card of boundaries, but when we look at the Emperor in terms of personality, the Emperor is someone who can be very loving, very passionate, very paternal, very father-like, can indicate somebody older than you even. But the thing about the Emperor, personality-wise, he can seem constantly like aloof. Like it might feel like this is somebody who has a wall up, and for just whatever reason, he's not letting that wall down. And sometimes, I don't know if Libra would fall into this cycle with an Emperor. Maybe if you're a Libra with a water placement, you might. But sometimes some people will feel like, you know, oh, well, they have this wall up and they're not letting me in. And so they might jump through hoops, or they might really try to prove their love to get this person to let the wall down. Or maybe Libra, you just kind of feel like, oh, well, they're kind of being a little bit distant. Are they hiding something? And you might be trying to get to the bottom of it. The thing about the Emperor, this is a personality thing. This is the way the Emperor is wired. The Emperor never fully lets the wall down. There's always going to be a little bit of a distance. There's always going to be this part of him that you just can't seem to uncover or reach. Maybe this is you. And maybe this is something you're realizing about yourself. Okay, especially if you have an Aries or Scorpio placement. You might be realizing, you know what, this is just kind of like my personality. And maybe it's been challenging for you in relationships in the past, but this is something that you're going to be able to explain, right? Like there's just this part of me, like this is just how I am. It's not going to change. It's not like somebody is going to come along and have this magic key and I'm going to completely and totally let this down and let them in 1000%. And you're getting comfortable with that, because this whole aspect of the wall with the Emperor, he also needs alone time. And this could be something that you're discovering about yourself. I want the relationship. I want to have a commitment. I want a relationship. I want the companionship. But I also need me time. I also need alone time. And I need to have my life outside of the relationship. And I need to be with a partner who has a life of their own outside of the relationship. That doesn't mean that you have secret lives. I'm not talking about a don't ask, don't tell dynamic. I'm not talking about any kind of shady stuff, but you just want to have autonomy. You don't want anything codependent, right? Like if you have a business, you want that to be your business. You don't necessarily need it to be something that you're tag teaming with your partner. And you want to have friends that you can go out and spend time with. And you want your partner to have friends that they can go out and they can spend time with. It doesn't mean that you don't have mutual friends. It doesn't mean that you guys never go out together and never spend time together as a group with mutual friends. But every so often you need that space. And this could be something that some of you need to establish in an existing relationship in order for the relationship to succeed. Maybe you've been really trying to like force it to like spending a lot of time together and doing everything together, when in actuality, a little bit of space is going to go a long way, and to be able to feel comfortable and closer with each other. You know, sometimes we try to make something work by like really, you know, holding on really tightly and like white knuckling the situation and like trying to force ourselves to be all in. And space does not mean that you're not all into a relationship. It can be healthy. And so I feel some of you Libras are figuring out that balance for yourself. How much space do you need? How much time do you need with the person? What are the rules of the relationship? Some of you have been in patterns or cycles in relationships where you've dealt with people. This is especially true if you find yourself attracted to older people. You don't necessarily have daddy or mommy issues, but you might just be attracted to older people. And you might find that you find yourself in these dynamics where you end up in relationships with people where they have a lot of opinions about what you're supposed to be doing, and they might have a lot of rules for you, right? Like they don't like it if you don't answer right away when they text, or they don't like this or they don't like that, but none of those rules seem to apply to them. There's like this double standard. And so a lot of you are like, I'm not putting up with double standards. It's not gonna be that way. It's not going to work that way. And I'm not going to spend my time trying to reason with this person or get it in through their head that that's not acceptable. If they don't know already, I can't teach them that. So I feel there's a sense of like fairness, balance, personal time, relationship time, what a healthy relationship is, what the rules are for a healthy relationship. Like these are the things that you're figuring out, Libra. These are the things that you're figuring out with a partner or with a person. The next card that's coming up here is the Ace of Pentacles. Now, Ace of Pentacles is a very beautiful, very positive card that indicates new energy coming in. And since it's a pentacle, a lot of the times we associate that with money. This can mean that some of you are meeting a significant new partner through a new job or a promotion or some kind of a transfer, or through your work situation. You may be meeting somebody, those of you who are single. Now, in general, for me, the Ace of Pentacles has a very special meaning when it comes up for me in my readings. Over the years reading for people, one of the things that I've realized is that the major arcana, the Ace of Pentacles seems to come up for people when they're breaking out of what we sometimes refer to as generational curses. So I was talking about with the Emperor that I felt some of you maybe had, ancestors or relatives from the other side kind of helping you come out, with those of you who feared miserable marriages or being stuck with somebody or feared divorce. That could be an aspect or an example of a family cycle or generational curse. It could be some other aspect. But the Ace of Pentacles, for me, like it comes up when you're breaking out of generational curses, you're shifting, you're upgrading your energy, you're breaking out of any inherited lower vibrational frequencies, lower vibrational energies. You're breaking out of all that stuff and you're ascending. You're upgrading your energy. You're coming into a higher frequency. So for some of you, there's an upgrading also in terms of your career, in terms of your finances. And so this is something that maybe is bringing you around other people who are successful. And so you may be feeling like you're taking your time in making your decisions, because you're like, well, I'm in this place in my life where I'm meeting a lot of new people, so maybe I don't want to like hurry up and lock myself down with one person right away. That doesn't mean that you're going around and you're like jumping from person to person, but you might be like, let me just kind of wait, because there's a lot of new people coming into my life right now. Some of you are coming into a time or a cycle where a lot of new people are coming into your life. And so you're like, okay, all right, let me just kind of wait. It's kind of like, I don't know if any of you have ever had an experience where you've moved from like a big place or a big city to a small town. And then it's like people are like, oh, wow, you're new in town. And then because you're new, people are noticing you. They want to get to know you. And all of a sudden, people want to date the new person in town because you're new. They don't know you. Oh, here's some fresh meat. And at first, you might be, oh, awesome, this is cool. But then you kind of realize, well, wait a minute, this is a small town. I gotta wait here. I don't want to come into town and then all of a sudden be like I'm dating everybody in town. And so some of you might just be like, okay, let me just kind of observe. Let me kind of observe, and then I'll make my decision. I feel that aspect for some of you as well. Maybe some of you recently did move to a small town and maybe you've been experiencing that situation and you might be saying, let me take a step back. Let me do some observation here, and before I go sampling everything at the buffet. I feel that dynamic for some of you as well. The next card that's coming up here, Libra, is the King of Pentacles. So there's a financial aspect in love and romance for Libra in January. And definitely some of you are encountering a very alpha kind of energy person, powerful kind of energy person through your work. Now, the King of Pentacles can indicate that some of you are dealing with an earth sign person. So earth sign people would be Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. But the King of Pentacles has a special meaning for me in my readings. And a lot of the times I see King of Pentacles come up when something feels to you like, I would really love this. This sounds really great, but I'm not sure why it's being offered to me. Like maybe this is being offered to me because this job interview I went on, or this person that seems to want to get to know me, they might have a better impression of me than I actually am. And that's why they're extending this offer to me. But if they really knew who I was, they wouldn't be interested in me. And so we might be tempted to push something away because we're like, well, this sounds great. This sounds wonderful, but I'm not ready for it. Or I'm not who they think I am. And so for me, the King of Pentacles comes up to say, look, honey, if you weren't ready for it, it wouldn't be here now. It's here now because you're ready for it. And they see something in you that they like. You're worth the time. You're worth the investment. They see you. And yes, they're interested in you and they want you. And so some of you might be feeling as though as you're advancing in your life, as you're ascending in your energy, as you're coming into new successes, you might feel all of a sudden like you're around people that are like a higher class or more educated or more successful. And you're thinking, well, I don't fit in here, or they're not going to like me, or like they're going to get to know me and they're going to learn about my background and they're going to know that I didn't have, the same opportunities in life that they did, that I came from a very like humble background or humble place. And you might feel a little bit insecure. You might feel a little bit insecure, like they're not going to want me once they get to know me. Look, you're there because that's your energy now. You belong there. You are successful. You are ascending. You are upgrading your life. This is the tier that you're on now. You belong there. And nobody is going to look at you or judge you and look at you negatively and say, oof, I don't want to be around you. If anything, they're going to be very impressed and very inspired by your story. Albeit, you're not going to go and share your story with every single person you come across. But the people who are lucky enough to get close enough to you to hear about your story and the things that you've overcome and the things that you've accomplished, they're going to be very inspired. They're going to think you're pretty amazing. Nobody's going to judge you or see you as less than. So the opportunities that are coming now, accept them. For some of you, this is tied into a work opportunity that is leading you to somebody significant. And you might be tempted to turn it down because you're saying, oh, I'm not good enough. For some of you, it could be an opportunity to move or to relocate. If you weren't ready for it, it wouldn't be here. That's what the King of Pentacles tells me when he shows up in a reading. Okay? Now, the next card coming up for Libra is the Moon. Another major arcana card. Doesn't surprise me at all. Now, the Moon card can indicate some of you are dealing with a Cancer or Pisces. If you have a Cancer or Pisces placement, there can be big changes or shifts happening for you in that area of your life that are opening up, romance and love doors for you. But the Moon card has a lot to do with overcoming our fears and allowing our intuition to guide us, to feel our way through a situation. This can be scary to enter into this relationship and to enter into these changes happening for you in your life right now. You're like, well, I don't know how to navigate it. I'm scared. I don't know what's ahead. These are the situations where we can't see the end of the road. We can't see what's ahead. All we know is the present moment. So to take our steps, we're not going to take our steps by knowing what's down the road. We're going to take our steps by feeling what is the right step to take. Taking a moment and feeling what our gut is telling us, what our instinct is telling us, and to overcome our fears. A lot of you, because of this offer, and because of this success, and because you're receiving all this new energy, it might be triggering up things that you've pushed down for a long time. You might find yourself more emotional than usual. You might find a lot of things from the past coming to the surface. It's because it's time to let it go. These are the things that you're clearing so that you can make space to receive this Ace of Pentacles, to receive this King of Pentacles, to have structure and order in your life. So for a lot of you, prepare to have a significant release in January that is making space for this love, this stability, this security. The next card coming up here is the Page of Swords. This could be you in your lovely air sign energy. The Page of Swords can indicate gathering information, doing reconnaissance. I feel this is going to be especially true for those of you who are being offered a big offer and you're scared to accept it. This could be a good time to do a little bit of research. Research the role, research the area, do a little bit of homework so that you can go into it feeling prepared and not feeling scared. Page of Swords can also indicate, for me in my readings, that you're having to speak up in a situation. Don't be afraid to speak up and to be honest about what you need. Your feelings matter. Your feelings matter. What you want matters. And so some of you have found yourself in situations where you try to be understanding of other people's circumstances. Their life is complicated. They're going through a lot. And you might say, okay, well, I understand that. I would really like a relationship. I'd really like a partner. I'd really like to live with somebody or get married. And they might say, oh, well, I would love that too. But you know what? Right now, my life is really complicated. I have depression. I have stress. I have this. I have that. And then we're like, oh, okay, this poor person, right? I totally understand. They're not in that place right now. But maybe if I could be there for them and I can be a good friend, and maybe we're just friends with benefits, but maybe I can be there for this person and help them heal. And when they're ready, we can be together. But that's not what happens. What happens is we unknowingly make an agreement with this person. I have told you what I want. I have told you what I need. You have told me that that is entirely way too inconvenient for you. And so I'm going to put what I want and what I need on the back burner. And this relationship is going to be about you and what you're comfortable with and what you need. And I'm going to accommodate you. that can be very selfless and beautiful for the other person, but it's not going to do you much good. It leaves you feeling burned out. It leaves you feeling drained. It leaves you feeling neglected. It leaves you feeling unloved. So the main thing that a lot of you Libras need to learn is that it is not your job to make a relationship convenient for somebody else. You guys can be very understanding. You can be very sympathetic towards the underdog. But this is a situation where it's okay for you to go out and get yours, so to speak. And so the Page of Swords comes up for me to say, don't be scared to speak up. Don't be scared to say in little situations, I don't like this, or I don't want that right now, or I would prefer this, or I would prefer that. Because when you do, you're making a statement to the universe that what you want matters and that people need to take that into consideration to be in your life or for you to even deal with them. So you're able to set that new agreement, a lot of you. Be sure to check out your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign, if this is none of those. Some months that might resonate more for you than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. I thank you all for watching. Be sure to check out the 2022 12-month forecasts. Those are linked in the description. And don't forget about the weekly forecasts on this channel where we talk about everything other than love. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful, wonderful new year. And I'm wishing you all the very best.